Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Steve with Sensus Fidelium coming at you at 9:42 p.m. November 14, 2025, St. Josephat Day. Pray for unity for East and West part of the church. Let's get right to it. An evening of welcome to the Friday, the weekend, the end of the week, dump day, Friday dump day. An evening of comedic storytelling with Stormy Daniels. That's right. That's not The Onion. That is WGN 9 News, Chicago. We can experience a one-night only evening of comedic storytelling with Stormy Daniels at Comedyplex Comedy Club in Oak Park. By the way, if you want to see, I don't have the video up anymore. Stormy's kind of lost her prettiness. Someone made a joke. TDS really got to her. That's Stormy. I mean, if you want to watch Stormy, that's where she used to be. That's where she is now. $50 for general admission, $65 for reserved seating, $70 for balcony, and $150 for VIP seating. Get your tickets while they're available. At Trump's urging U.S. Justice Department, the U.S. Justice Department said on Friday it will fulfill once and future King President DJT's request to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's ties with former Democrat President Bill Clinton, Slick Willie, and JPMorgan. As Trump sought the shift, the move comes 2 days after the congressional committee released thousands of documents that raised new questions about Trump's relationship with the late financier and marks the latest in a series of demands by Trump for federal enforcement to pursue his perceived political enemies. Candlesticks, what's up, Ned? How you doing there? Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's gotten in a little trouble for putting out stuff that she's pretty much backdated. I think it was a lot of things that it's a clown world. Said Jay Clayton, the top federal persecutor in Manhattan, was thorn in Trump's side for months. They said they were going to do it, and all of a sudden they said, "Oh, it's not there anymore. Vote for me, and I'll put it out there." It gets in there. What files? Sam Altman, who was there on day one for Stargate that nobody cares about, or no one wants to look at, or none of the cheerleaders bring up, happened day one. Sam Altman was there for that. Sam Altman and husband, you notice there's a lot of guys that have that relationship in and around DJT. Sam Altman and husband fund startup to edit babies' genes. The OpenAI boss has invested in a controversial startup, Preventive, which aims to genetically engineer children free from hereditary diseases, which always sounds good. Yeah, that's the road to hell is paved by good intentions. That's a good intention. Can you see the back? That thing will just go. As Nicholas Holsker said, this is a dangerous path we're headed down. So CRISPR, that's exactly right. CRISPR right there. The rebirth of Frankenstein in the era of CRISPR and AI. Here's a link on it right here. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman and his husband are funding the creation of genetically engineered babies. Sam and Oliver Heller, whatever, have joined Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong in backing a controversial new Silicon Valley startup called Preventive, a company pursuing CRISPR-based embryo gene editing to end hereditary disease. Behind the polished language lies a darker reality. This marks the first step towards commercialized designer babies, a form of genetic engineering explicitly banned under U.S. law and condemned across most of the world. Preventive has raised $30 million, established a lab in San Francisco, and is exploring foreign jurisdictions like the UAE, where such experiments might move forward under looser oversight. Founder Lucas Harrington, the protege of CRISPR pioneer Jennifer Doudna, insists the company isn't yet implementing edited embryos, but acknowledges active research on altering human life at its earliest stage. Yeah, you can see that they will use something like that to get it going. Oh, we're going to do that to take care of these genetically disease things, and all of a sudden now it's we all want blue eyes. This just in, says Nick Sorter. JD Vance, we need to build 20 million illegals. If we do both of those and quickly, we can finally start making housing affordable again. So now the fake right is thinking that just because of illegals that is making the home industry unaffordable. No, nothing. 2008, 2007, the whole 2008 crash. That was just illegals. All the inflation going. It's not that they're building more things. It's not, and it's not the increase. Trump and them or BlackRock's and Trump administration. JD can't say BlackRock. What are you talking about, BlackRock? BlackRock, SmackRock, they don't talk. No, it's the illegals. Here's Nick Gary of Preventive app. The weakness in the rental market is alarming. Suggests there's more deflationary pressure on housing economy than people understand, and that 2026 will be a year where CPI drops. Note, over 33% of the inflation calculation is based on rental cost estimates. And he goes through a whole thing. Here's a chart from CoStar articles. Negative 0.31 rent growth in October. Apartment rent growth is declining due to overhang on supply mixed with substantial slowdown in demand in the second half of 2025. This idiot, he's got it. Where's the illegals? These rents are flat to down slightly year over year, depending on the source of the data. I don't see where he's talking about illegals. Some might say that this is just a natural correction in these markets, and after how much rent boomed during the pandemic, and that could be true. Many of the Sunbelt markets had unsustainable rent growth, and some return down to earth was expected. However, he's going to talk about illegals. It's rare for rents to go over negative. No, where's the rent negative? Where's the illegals at? And it's not just apartments. It's happening to single family too. Or we're getting illegals right here. The largest publicly traded landlord in America, Invitation Homes, just reported negative new lease growth for Q3 2025. Come on, he's not talking about illegals. Why? I ask. All of these is great news for renters, and it's finally becoming more affordable to rent again. It's also great news for CPI inflation. I'm looking at Nick, get to the illegals. To see how impactful rents are to CPI inflation, take a look at this chart. Doesn't say anything about illegals. This is nonsense. Currently, owners of equivalent rent is at 3.4% year over year, and rent to primary residence is at 3.4% year over year. Zillow just lowered their 2026 single-family rent growth forecast to just 2.0%. Eventually, he'll get the illegals. The final point to consider here is the relationship between rents and home prices in the long run. Oh, there it is, number 11. And since some of you asked about immigration, I do believe lower immigration is having an impact on rental demand. What? Lower? The one metric I'm looking at to track this immigrant work applications calculated from the Brookings Institution, this metric is down 60% in the last 4 to 5 months and likely correlates strongly with rental demand. With that said, some markets across the U.S. are still strong investment. I thought I was just told by J.D. Thiel that it was because of illegals. Breaking up on my end. Well, it could be Friday, it could be my computer, it could just be Friday streaming in general. I don't know. We'll see how it comes out at the end. Whiplash, says Ryan Christian. Apparently, the Trump team position on this is whatever they said it was today. Now, DHS Secretary Noem on H-1Bs. Under the Trump administration, we sped up our process and added integrity to the visa programs, to green cards, to all of that. But also, more people becoming naturalized under this administration than ever before. More people are becoming citizens. What is going on? Dominic Tripp goes, this administration is in a free fall, reminding you that every turn that you and American don't matter. Only donors, corporations, and Israel get priority. America last. there's from the interview with Megan Kelly. We got some of that. DC Drainer, here's an idea. How about instead of 50-year mortgages, we start banning Blackstone, BlackRock, China, and illegal aliens from buying single-family homes? Ryan Christian again. So you're finally calling out Trump. This is back from April. BlackRock's Larry Fink abruptly becomes a part of Trump's inner circle. How did he get there? Larry Fink, the billionaire CEO of BlackRock, is now locked in with DJT, sitting inside the president's inner circle after years of tension with the Republican Party. So wait a second. As Deborah goes, how do you buy a home without a social security number 3 years prior to tax returns? What illegal buying homes? Breaking up on mine. I can't even see on this side. So I mean, again, I got full bars over here, and StreamYard. I can't see the bars. It looks like it's fine on this side. Possibly. I mean, I'm not saying wrong. As Trump defends foreign workers, his company saw a record number in 2025. Remember when Winston Future King, President DJT, defended the need for foreign workers on Fox News on Tuesday? He echoed his own company's practices. The Trump organization had requested a record 184 of them this year for Mar-a-Lago and other properties. Do you remember back a couple months ago, he talked about not having to deport the people, that we couldn't deport the people on the farms or the service industry like this. And how they sold this whole deportation thing was, we got to get rid of the worst of the worst. And then he made a deal with MS-13, the worst of the worst, apparently, and basically they're running El Salvador, I think it is. So basically, you got lied to, you got holy wink, you got sold a bill of goods that wasn't there. He told you it was going to be this, and they did this. They told you we were going to go after the worst of the worst, and they ended up going to round up families at Lowe's or outside people's schools. That's the problem I have with it. You want to deport people? Be honest with it and do the right thing. But don't treat them like dogs. Right? Put them in these burrito things, or send them down to a place called hell. And we got more of that coming up too. But again, people look at it as my party versus their party. We got to do it because yeah. Again, the reason why this isn't a big deal right now? Why is it a problem? The federal government, the general government, DC, the District of Criminals, states could. The original intent, it was the original way to do it. Was the states did it? Tell me I'm wrong. I'll give you the evidence. The states did it. They were in charge of it. Actually, back in, was it Obama days? Alabama was getting rid of deportating a lot of people, and the federal government stopped them. Sounds like YouTube doesn't like what Steve has to say. It doesn't like a lot that comes out of this channel, I think. The Trump organization sought to bring in at least 184 workers. Blah, 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 blah. We already had that. The company visa requests have risen steadily in recent years from 121 to 184. During Trump's 5 years in office, the Trump organization filed to bring in at least 566 foreign workers. Again, it's okay when I do it, says DJT. The jobs, primarily servers, clerks, housekeepers, kitchen staff, and farm workers, pay between $15 and $27 per hour per the Department of Labor listings. And you know what? I don't care if he does that or not. To be honest, I really don't. It's his company. Any company that wants to bring in labor, fine. Spokesperson for the Trump organization did not immediately respond to inquiries while the White House would not comment. Here's a 5 times August talking about, when Trump talking about that people couldn't do batteries. And he goes, we had zero experience housewives making aircraft and tanks in World War II. And POTUS acts like we can't train Americans to make batteries. Yeah, I expect the psychos whispering in his ear. That could be true too. I mean, you'll never do anything but H1 OPP. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll play that one. Why not? That's a good little one for everyone. Maybe let's see, share screen. Here we go. Not playing? Come on,
knows
play.
the system
I
better
command
than
you
me.
to.
I know the H-1B. I know the H-2B. Nobody knows it better than me. I know the H-1B very well, and it's something that I frankly use. I shouldn't be allowed to use. We shouldn't have it. Very, very bad for workers.
As we speak, we're finalizing H-1B regulations so that no American worker is replaced ever again. H-1B should be used for top, highly paid talent to create American jobs, not as inexpensive labor program to destroy American jobs.
Why did you change your mind on H-1B?
I didn't change my mind. I've always felt we have to have the most competent people in our country. We need competent people. We need smart people coming into our country. We need a lot of people coming in. We're going to have them.
Let me get back down to share screen. Just take a second. Bondi directs SDNY attorney Clinton to investigate Epstein's links to Bill Clinton and Democrats after Trump's request. Sorry, I mentioned that before. Pope Leo's urging bishops issue historic rebuke of Trump's raids. Nearly all U.S. Catholic bishops united in Baltimore to denounce the Trump administration's inhumane deportation campaign, a near unanimous, unprecedented moral stand against the sitting president. Now, the problem with a lot of this is you see a lot of guys already calling it out and going, all right, where are you consistent at with liturgy or SSM, abortion, etc., all that stuff? Because they're usually just a one-track pony, the USCCB, and that's just on immigration. Now, I'm not saying they're wrong on they're wrong on a couple things, but they're 100% right. One guy said it I can't remember which bishop it was, younger guy, and he talked about the inhumane, talking about them, the words that everyone was using, the dehumanization of them, because that's what they do. They're animals, they're pigs, whatever. I mean, whoever your enemy is, you must dehumanize them and call them all kinds of different names. Is everyone Star Spangled Awesome? Are there people that are hurting other people that are illegals? Yes. There's also people that are hurting people that aren't illegals. It's calling up everyone animals, throwing them in the cages and things like that. That's the burrito again, putting them up like that. Is deportation a good thing? Obama did it. You never saw the USCCB. I don't think they went after him at all. But when someone else on the fake right does it, they get all bent out of shape. Deportation is good if they're breaking the law. I get it. Yes, go for it. They're doing it. But again, like I said before, you were sold MS-13 and all of these bad guys. You weren't sold going after kids, going to Lowe's, going to Walmart, going to schools, things like that. So there's that many problems going on the stream. So I don't even know if I can pull it up to see what's going on. Let's see. Just check live. Oh, there's the live button right there. 20 minutes ago. Mine doesn't play. So yeah, I can't get that one to play right now. So man, I wish I could tell you guys what's going on. Maybe let me see. Sorry, if technical difficulties, please stand by. Okay, that is live. No, that's a different one. How come it says live, but I can't. Oh, there it is. Now that's a different one. How come the visa program, the green cards, to wallet for that? Yeah, it is breaking up bad. Holy cow, that is bad. Yeah, that's not the mic. Let me refresh don't go away. I'll refresh the screen. You might not be changes you say might not be safe. How's that? Did that help out in any flavor or no? Someone speak to me, son. Speak to me. Is that better or not? Hello? Is that better or not? I still hear a little bit. It sounds a little bit better, but we'll go ahead and push through. Trump blares Phantom of the Opera at White House with empty Friday schedule. You have to keep talking so we can tell. Yeah, well, yeah, I get that too, Amy. He's smart butt. Trump blares Phantom of the Opera at White House with empty Friday schedule, because that's what normal people do. One of the fans of the channel sent this for Clown Planet. Thank you for the assist. New wave of U.S. investment to create up to 1,000 jobs. This is in Ireland. Belfast, along with London, Edinburgh, and Manchester, set to benefit from a wave of new U.S. investment into the financial service sector. Bank of America is still popping and cutting out slightly. Yeah, I can't do that. I don't know what. Maybe it's the stream, because it's Friday night. I guess everyone else, brother, is doing it right around this time too. Again, I don't, nothing on my end. I got full bars on everything. The internet's fine. I paid the bill. It might just be a Friday night thing. ICE almost deports Native American woman as cops tell terrified family they cannot help. This comes amid Trump's immigration crackdown, which has terrified communities across the United States and led to numerous innocent people being detained. People held in decrepit California ICE facilities sue over inhumane conditions, medical neglect, and says residents frequently go hungry. Covered with snow. Remember doing the rabbit ears, moving over this way, move that way, go back. And yeah, I mean, if you know anything about the rabbit ears, you know exactly with the snow. Many a day like that. Oh, it's crystal clear, and you see it's all over the place. My kids, I'll turn on the Major League channel to watch baseball games, and sometimes they had a game on the other day. It was 1975. That wasn't the World Series; it was just a regular game. And my kid goes, "Why is it so fuzzy?" I go, "Dude, it's from '75. You're lucky it even had color." Spoiled. Everything has to be crystal clear. You got to be able to see. You got to be able to see the ribbons on the things on the ball turning from your couch. I'm like, man, you couldn't even read the hats back in the day. They were so blurry. We were promised that Obamacare would make our lives better. It only made them worse, says John Kennedy, Coke out of Louisiana. Coke versus Pepsi, Pepsi's are Democrats, Cokes are Republicans, whatever you want. And behold my bowl of Republican healthcare plans. That's what I actually want. Nothing. I don't want to. Here's the alternative. You promised to come up with an alternative. That's it. None. No government in healthcare. Get government out. That's my alternative. They don't want that because both of them. Brian McClanahan had a great show. It was on was American Liberty, and he talked about it, saying that the liberty that you hear from today is the puritanical liberty that was brought on in the early days of Northeast Puritans. And the Puritans were all about community liberty. You didn't have individual liberty when FDR had the new Bill of Rights, the right to food, the right to a house, all that stuff. You hear that today. I have a right to this. I have a right for someone else to pay my bills. That is that Puritan mindset of liberty. So this liberty they come up with is a right in their mind, and it's not for you. You have the right, the freedom to whatever. It's like pulling guns. They're like, I have the right to not have you have that. It's a backwards mindset. And the funny thing is, Edmund Burke talked about it, saying that the greatest area of personal liberty and freedom was the South. And you still see that to this day, obviously. The only other thing I can do is reboot the whole computer. And I think it's not that. I think it's the connection because everything else is running fine. I mean, I can click through things pretty quick. Why California's newest detention facility faces federal lawsuit over medical neglect and punitive unsanitary conditions. By the way, in case if you want to see the show notes before anybody runs out because of the audio, they're underneath in the show notes already. Check it out. You're here for the show notes anyway, not for my 2 cents. But I guess you might care about my 2 cents. That's why you like my beautiful voice, right? Americans with 6-figure incomes are in survival mode. A 6-figure salary doesn't mean what it once did. That's a takeaway from a new Harris poll, which suggests a 6-figure income in 2025 equates to survival. Figure earners describe themselves in the poll of financial distress. 2 in 3 said 6-figure pay is not a sign of wealth. Remember, in 1980, you make 6 figures, you are moving on up. The Harris Poll survey released November 14th reached 2,109 Americans, including 728 who earn at least 100,000. I can tell you, if you live in Denver, Colorado, you can be in poverty and have $100,000. You're technically into poverty. Who is Jonathan Braun? Drug dealer freed by Trump, sent back to prison, not over drugs. So whenever you think about when Venezuela, they're bombing these drug dealers. We got these narco terrorists. This guy was freed by Trump, drug dealer, freed by Trump, convicted drug trafficker and loan shark who was granted clemency by Trump, has been sent back to prison after being accused of criminal. He supervised release and allegedly sexually assaulting a family nanny, swinging an IV pole at a nurse, threatening a member of his synagogue, and evading bridge tolls. So it wasn't over drugs, just so you know. But we'll bomb everyone else for drugs. That's what they say. Here's how much coffee, beef, and banana prices have gone up. The Trump administration said it would lower tariffs in an attempt to make these household staples more affordable. You see bananas up 10% almost, ground beef up 12%, and coffee roast up 40% almost. And again, excuse me, you can grow it. You can't grow ground beef, you can raise them, but coffee and bananas, even if you don't have cattle in your backyard, you can grow both of those. You can even grow coffee beans. Obviously, you need 45 degrees or warmer. So if you're above zone 8 or lower, it's in 76543. You probably you'd have to have a greenhouse and a heating system, or you could put incandescent lights on and it'll grow. I got them on mine. Coffee plant still's growing fine. It just hasn't produced any berries yet. It's been a while. It's going to take a couple years. Bananas are doing good. They're still 6 feet tall, 7 feet tall. Now with bananas, they have 12 months. If they don't get exposed to freeze or frost for 12 months, you'll get fruit out of that. And then you cut down the thing because you only get 1 fruit per shoot, and you'll get a big fruiting out of it. You get more bananas than you can eat. I'm still getting peppers in my herbs. Yep, I got my peppers under frost. I'll go out there tomorrow and take it off because this is going to be beautiful for the next week and a half. I'll put some lights on those guys. I'm going to try to overwinter them outside. Herbs took a hit. We had that cold front. And we had it was 20 degrees, 25 degrees. So the basil got hit pretty hard. The oregano's already dead. But I got plenty inside. So even if I had my own greenhouse, I'd have those guys going year round. But yeah, you grow your own. Get your own coffee plant, or get a Yupon holly, and Yupon holly will you can grow that and tea the leaves, and that'll be a natural caffeine thing too. Don't eat the berries. The berries are poisonous. Charlotte organizers considering peaceful protests ahead of Cutlet, baby. Maybe I'll get a first-hand experience. Woman films herself committing SNAP fraud. So this lady films herself. Just stupid. If you're going to commit a crime, never film yourself. So it's price. I don't know what she was thinking. This surprising activity that's banned in Dubai and could cost you 103,000 pounds. And that is taking a selfie with somebody, I think it is. Yeah, take a random photo. What you can and can't do in Dubai. Take random photos. Sleep in public. I'd be litter. Cross the road. Wash your car. That's it. Yeah. Scientists just built an AI that can basically read your mind. I don't know about that, but they can definitely read what you hear. They can hear what you say. My husband secured a banana to a fruit tree that he just put in a month ago to have fun with his daughter. Yeah, I got a regular three different varieties. Two. One's a blue ice cream banana, and the other one's a dwarf banana. Either way, better than the stuff that you get at the grocery store. Jack Dorsey funds the Vine, a Vine reboot that includes Vine's video archive. As generative AI content starts to fill our social apps, the project to bring back Vine's 6-second looping videos is launching with Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey's backing. Are you listening to bots? Survey shows AI music is virtually undetectable, which is kind of funny. I did make a AI song, and everyone wrote me back. Well, my wife thought it was the new Blake Shelton, and everyone else figured out it was. How'd you guys know? I couldn't tell. By the way, the 3 of the top 10 hits on country music charts are AI. Here's Candace Owens. They are blackmailing Trump in broad daylight. The slow release of the emails is intentional. Now he will give them whatever they want. For those who struggle with context clues, they equal Israel, who Jeffrey Epstein worked for. This is how our nation, which we're not a nation, is ran. This flashback, Trump is asked if he thinks Ghislaine Maxwell, who was arrested nearly 3 weeks earlier and charged with helping Epstein recruit, groom, and ultimately abuse minor girls, will turn on powerful men. He goes, I just wish her well, frankly. Carolyn Levitt, it's now time. It's not that if not for the Jeffrey Epstein story, CNN would be forced to talk about the Schumer and the Democrats got shellacked by Trump and Republicans in the government shutdown fight. Oh boy. Trump will remain focused on making America affordable again. Or Argentina, whichever one. Whitney Webb. My feeling is that now it is safe to release the info that Epstein was really a sex trafficker as a side gig and was mainly an intelligent asset of Israel and the U.S., a big-time financial criminal on behalf of transnational capital. I would argue transnational organized crime disguised as transnational capital, and an arms trader because the people he was helping have stolen so much of America's wealth and have taken control over so much of the government. This is why even admitting the true breadth of the scandal and operation doesn't even seem to move the needle. Criminals are in charge and they run both parties. They have created an infrastructure for neo-feudalism enforced by tech and are herding us into the corral. Opt out of AI, digital ID, and the surveillance state that Epstein Associates built now because we still can. Also, all of the people who smeared me this and last year are pointing out J.D. Vance's Peter Thiel connections and why Thiel is bad, and also shaming me for not trusting in Trump should be eating their shorts right now after these recent releases. You sold the American people Epstein Associates as political saviors, and you should apologize. Here's a short premiere right here on J.D. Thiel's Peter Thiel connection, or J.D. Vance's Peter Thiel connection. And it says the Palantir president. And we played all this before. I'll reshare it in case no one's ever seen that before. But yeah, there's a problem with that. Thiel owns that guy, and you notice everyone wants him to be the next president. It's kind of funny how that works. J.D. Vance tweet about Jeffrey Epstein scandal resurfaces 4 years later, and boy, it's awkward. Here's J.D. Vance. I think about this Matt Walther column about once a month. September 4th, 2021. The Jeffrey Epstein case is why people believe in Pizzagate. Caitlin Johnstone, one of the craziest things happening right now is there's been a report after report after report showing that Epstein really was an Israeli intelligence operative based on publicly available documents, and yet it had no measurable impact on mainstream media or politics. And here's from Dropsite News. Israeli spies stayed for weeks at a time at Epstein's mansion. It was One Nation Under Blackmail, Volume 1. That was a good one. Here's Catherine Austin Fitts back in August 2025. They put Trump in to get the control grid, and he's done a fabulous job. But I don't think they need him anymore. And if they want to get rid of him with Epstein, they can by the end of the year. That was heard back in August, a couple months ago, August. And I said that too. Now, I didn't say that first part. I said the first part last year that they were going to get him in for the control grid. I didn't know what they were going to do to get rid of him. Now I think she's probably right. Vice President Vance, we want our fellow Americans to know that crypto and digital assets, and particularly Bitcoin, are part of the mainstream economy and are here to stay. Woo-hoo, yay. Catherine Austin Fitts, here is how the administration is promoting programmable money and the digital control grid. Much nicer than saying we want complete surveillance with the ability to determine what you can and cannot do with your money. Yeah, they got the right guy out there too saying that JD slick salesman. Many years of being groomed for this. We got digital. You're going to love the digital ID and the technocracy I got coming for you. My boss, Peter Thiel, Trump is all about it. Thomas Massey, I received this troubling letter today from the attorney representing the most recent FBI whistleblower regarding the J6 pipe bomb investigation, by the way, who's turned out to be a CIA person. Shocker. Just a reminder to Kash Patel, in case the letter is warranted, federal law prohibits retaliation against whistleblowers. Candace Owens claims that, drum roll please, Israel is blackmailing Trump over Epstein. Scientists pull ancient RNA from a woolly mammoth's body, what could go wrong? We've never heard of Jurassic Park or anything like that. Raise your hand if you want to be a gringo slave. Maduro to thousands of young Venezuelans marching in defense of sovereignty. Raise your hand if you want fascists to take political power. Maduro condemns threat of U.S. invasion as use pled to protect the homeland. Speaking of which, generals singing in their masses, just like witches in black masses. Israel seeks 20-year military aid deal with these United States. IDF kills 15-year-old boys in West Bank. Settlers torch mosque. Israel killing Gazans trying to return to homes beyond yellow line. Trump presented with options to bomb Israel. Hegseth announces Operation Southern Spirit. We talked about that yesterday. Israel kills 114 Lebanese civilians since the ceasefire. NATO states to buy U.S. arms for Ukraine. Okay, nothing else has been really changed in the last couple of days. Secret U.S. memo authorizing drug boat strike cites chemical weapons threat. Brief outlines the Trump administration's legal case, quote unquote, for military action against alleged drug carrying boats in the Caribbean and Pacific. J.D. Pritzker warns Trump would take us to war with Venezuela to distract from Epstein. He's going to do everything in his power to distract. Wow, he must have heard news from the pew yesterday, because I know I said that quite often. Ray Charles could see that coming. Not Stevie Wonder, because Stevie could see, but Ray Charles was really blind. I got to play this for you. Sorry. And let me take that off. We talked about this a while ago.
He's getting bigger. See?
Oh, honey, that's wonderful.
Kicking like crazy.
He's listening. Put your hand on your tummy and hum to him. You used to love that.
It feels like he's dancing in there.
Oh, honey.
Mom, would you tell Charlie that bedtime story you always used to tell me?
Once upon a time, there was a baby unicorn who didn't know he knew how to fly. This baby unicorn was like your mom because she didn't know that she knew how to fly, but she knew how to do all kinds of fabulous things.
Hi, Grandma.
Hey, Charlie. How was school today?
It was really fun. I made this crazy shot in basketball.
I don't really care that much about basketball. What about the crush?
Stop. Grandma, stop talking.
Just tell me one thing.
Look who's gonna be a great grandmother.
Oh, Charlie. Oh, congratulations.
She says that he's been kicking a lot though. Like, a little too much.
Tell her to put her hand on her tummy and hum to him. You loved that.
You would have loved this moment.
You can call anytime.
Okay, Mom, I just need a quick video.
Is this like an audition or something?
No, Mom, just 3 minutes.
You need my best side?
Can I see another one?
I can play the piano.
You're so talented.
I am. I'm your mother after all.
Keep going. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I was born as a very young child.
I would hope so.
Remember we talked about that a little bit ago, or a couple months ago, about a month ago, they talked about doing that with the dead. So they're AIing people. There's a program, and it's called 2WAI. There is the link right there. Try it beta in App Store, and the Apple App Store, and Android is coming soon. Avatar social network. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so people will never die anymore. China is rolling out hundreds of UB Tech's new Walker S2 humanoid robots, marking the first mass delivery of industrial robots to major manufacturers for a continuous factory and logistics work. That's why you won't have a job because of these guys. Robots groove to UAI's traditional dance. It's your groove thing. It's your groove thing. All right. Here's Elon Musk. Incredible medical care for all. Elon Musk on Optimus. How it will provide access to the best medical care for anyone in the world. Quote, imagine a world where everyone has access to the best surgeons, literally everyone. And Optimus will have a level of precision that is frankly superhuman and will be able to do medical procedures, very sophisticated procedures, any procedure, perhaps things that humans can't even do because they're too difficult, and that will be available to anyone. People often talk about eliminating poverty and providing great medical care, but they never actually have a solution. Money doesn't solve it because there is a very limited number of great doctors and surgeons. They don't grow on trees, but now they all get built in factories. Yeah, your vaccination is not up to date? No problem. Optimus will give you a shot at 3 a.m. while you're asleep. Here's the mass surveillance program that a lot of people may not know is going on. Well, I'll go ahead and there's only these 2 more screens left, so.
Mass surveillance program, that is a Flock safety camera. It's an artificial intelligence automatic license plate reader, and unlike others, Flock cameras are connected to a nationwide database. They run your plates against police hot lists and the FBI's criminal database. Cameras also record data like your car's make, color, or features like a missing hubcap. There's even AI-powered audio detection for things like gunshots or fireworks. So then Flock's database stores all the information gathered for up to 30 days. And this surveillance is constantly expanding. An estimated 40,000 Flock cameras read over 1 billion plates per month. They're in 5,000 communities across the US and are used by over 3,000 police departments. And it's not just police departments using these. Flock cameras are used by major companies, neighborhood HOAs, and affordable housing communities, which is well within their right, but then police have access to all the information gathered. Flock says the cameras only detect license plates and vehicles, not facial recognition or people, and they're prohibited for immigration and traffic enforcement. So what do you think?
I can tell you what I think. I want to break them down. Here's another one. Here's Virginia.
We all want police accountability, and cameras are good for that. However, the police are turning the tables. Now, the cameras are tracking us, even though we did nothing wrong. And this isn't just about catching criminals or finding stolen vehicles. It's about mass surveillance that affects everyone, even if you've done nothing wrong. Fortunately, people are fighting back. The Virginia General Assembly took action this year with a bill to limit police ALPR usage. The police can currently keep your data on file forever. The bill only allows storing data for 21 days. The police can currently look at your travel data in the ALPR system for any reason. The bill limits access to particular purposes, such as missing persons, searching for someone with an active arrest warrant, stolen vehicles, and of course, the way too broad category of any criminal investigation based on reasonable suspicion. Third, there's currently no requirement for record keeping about how the police are actually using ALPR data. The bill would require that the police do keep records and report all of that to the state.
Yeah, these things are popping up left and right. Anyways, have a great weekend. Hit like, subscribe, all that jazz. Thanks for sticking around. Hopefully the audio got better. I haven't seen anybody complain. Maybe everyone got tired and left. Anyways, I don't know. Anyway, have a great weekend. See you Monday, Black Pill Monday, and God bless.